Okay guys, so we're going to be taking a look at how to create some winning ad campaigns and really actually just understanding the algorithm of how Facebook determines the people that are going to see the ads that you put out there. In other words, how Facebook determines which audience sees and what you make, and the process by which that happens. Essentially, you go into what's called a bidding process, which is called B.EA.R, stands for B.EA.R. I'm going to break that down for you guys and how that works. So, let's throw out an example here of what takes place. So, essentially, like I was saying, how Facebook determines which ads are shown is basically you go into what's called a bidding process. So you go into what's an auction, okay? So let's say that we have two advertisers, okay, and we have an audience who are targeting the same person. They're selling different products, but they're targeting the same person. So in this case, let's say advertiser 1 wants to target women 18 to 24 who are interested in travel, and advertiser number 2 wants to also target women 18 to 24 who are interested in entrepreneurship. So pretty much what would happen is their ads would be shown to a female perspective. Let's say the person who sees the ad is female, 21 years old, lives in New York, and her interests are, swimming, travel, USC, Pokemon Go, and entrepreneurship. So basically what happens, as you know, is Facebook matches people to your ad based on their interests and behaviors. So in this case, both of them match with her because one of them is targeting entrepreneurship and the other is targeting travel. However, one of these advertisers is going to win and have their ad actually shown to this woman, and this is how it works. Basically, the person who has targeted this woman for travel, why in an instance would it work for advertiser 1 and not advertiser 2, or why in this case when they're both pretty much not even targeting the same thing, but they have very similar variables in their ad set campaigns, why is advertiser 1 beating out advertiser 2? And that has to do with the bidding process. So essentially, we're going to break down what B.EA.R is, how the auction actually works. So B.EA.R is essentially, B is the bid, okay? EA is the expected action, which means, well, first of all, let's break down bid for a second, because bid is pretty much saying, okay, how much am I willing to spend? Okay, that's going to depend on your budget, how much you're going to spend, whether that's per click or per action, per lead, per whatever your CPA, CPC, CPL, whatever your cost per conversion is. That is your bid, and you're saying I'm willing to spend X amount to get that click or that conversion. Okay, now B.EA.R, how the auction EA, if the expected action is the expected action that person is supposed to take. So if you're putting out a campaign for let's say traffic, then the expected action of your prospect, of your audience, is to potentially click to a link, so like a link click to your website. That is the expected action. R stands for your relevance and quality. So what's going to happen here, and what's going to also determine how well your ad performs, is the relevance and quality of your ad set campaign, how well your copy is put together, landing pages, your relevance score, how relevant was your ad to your prospective customer or audience, right? So let's break these down a little bit more in detail, okay? So the bid is, like I was saying, how much you are willing to spend for an action, okay? So you're looking for a link click or conversion, a lead or web or traffic, okay? So the key features here is you're doing what other advertisers are doing, okay? And the bid, honestly, is the only element that you can fully and easily control. What I mean by this is about the only way you can guarantee if your ad will be shown to a prospective customer, okay, or lead or whoever. It's really because essentially, if I am bidding, if I'm willing to spend $2 for someone to click on a link, but Andy, advertiser 2 from Arizona, is willing to spend $3 to get for that same click, or to get in front of that same person and get that same click, then Andy's ad is going to beat mine because Facebook has determined that his ad is more relevant based on the score, and of course there's several other factors, but immediately based off of the bid, Facebook is more likely to reward Andy for that action, and that's just how the algorithm works. So now don't think it's some kind of competition where you have to outbid everyone, but because there are tons of results that obviously you can get and that people are getting without having to fight for who's controlling the most, who's spending the most money. No, I'm not saying you have to spend a ton of money. I'm just telling you that understand that there is a bidding process involved and that the algorithm is shaped to work a certain way. It's not like we're gonna cut this person off or not show this ad or this, that, or the other. It's just you're more likely to have your ad shown depending on how many people are vying for the position that you are vying for. So when you're putting your ad in front of a customer, remember you have other people who are also vying for that same customer. So Facebook is going to reward the ad that is most relevant with the highest bid. Okay? So let's also look at the expected action, which is how likely your target audience is going to perform the action you are bidding for, whether they really are going to take that link click or that conversion or web traffic. How Facebook targets that expected action is, again, through search behaviors, their online behaviors, and their interests. So these are how you know that when you're designing your creative, this is how you know who is going to, you're targeting based off of people's interests, based off of behaviors that they've done in the past. You can even go into Facebook pretty in depth to find out if people have made purchases online in the last 30 days or 90 days. You can take it, even when if you're doing a retargeting campaign, you can really go back and dig into the behaviors of people who have taken certain types of actions, so that you know what type of campaign to set up for that prospect. Okay. And looking at the relevance and quality, this is an important step, because really this is truly what's going to determine the ultimate outcome. The quality of your campaign, e.g. your landing page, your headline, your sub-headline, all of this has to be consistent. So this is going back into your relevance and your quality score. Let's say you put out an ad, but your landing page is not consistent with the ad copy that you used. In other words, like your headline, because what Facebook does is it sends out bots that scrape the data off of your website before it sends traffic, and it's scraping for certain types of information, because ultimately Facebook wants to keep people on Facebook, and they want to be showing quality. They want to make sure that the ads that they're showing to people are consistent with what they are actually interested in. So that means that they scrape a lot of information to find out if your ads are consistent with the data. And so this is all based on basically your schema data. It's based on your relevance score, your targeting, your ad creative, and also it looks into negative feedback. Like if you're targeting a particular audience, and people are Xing out or blocking your ads from being shown, Facebook is trying to still be user friendly, so you just have to keep that in mind. So it's trying not to show too many ads to people who don't want to see ads in their timeline. So if you're vying for that space, again, your ad has to be relevant. Another thing that can determine how well your ad is placed is based on your ad account quality score. So let's say, Andy in Arizona, advertiser 1, beats me because, well, his ad account is much more mature than mine. He's been spending money longer than I have on Facebook, or he has a consistent, I should say, time sometimes doesn't really have to do with it, but you want to make sure that you are, if you are running ads on Facebook, you want to make sure that, Facebook considers you a quality advertiser. Your payments are made on time, stuff like that. Believe it or not, that can determine or affect your ad quality score. So Facebook, whenever they approve your ads, I've had ads, or actually I've worked on client campaigns where ads were not approved immediately, or it took a very long time because either they were new or there had been issues with their account before, so Facebook took longer to approve certain things, whereas I've also had other clients that their accounts were approved immediately, and that's because they have a regular expenditure that they do with Facebook, and so Facebook trusts the account. So those are things to also keep in mind, and that can also determine how your ad is potentially placed in front of your prospective audience, so keep that in mind. And again, back to this, what determined advertiser 1 is the winner here over advertiser 2, even though they were both targeting the same person or the same type of person. They're both targeting one was targeting for travel, one was targeting for entrepreneurship, two totally separate interests, but there were enough similarities here that Facebook rewarded advertiser 1, who had the better landing page, who had a consistent message, and had a better ad account quality score and the bigger budget. So remember that each one of these little factors in here contributes to how well your scores run, and it's just the algorithm of Facebook. There's no, I guess, real rhyme or reason to it, but it's how Facebook determines who is going to be the winner, essentially, of that particular bid. Okay. And another thing to think about is, well, okay, if I'm spending money but Facebook's not showing my ads, why are they still charging me? Or so here's something that you should know, that this is how Facebook ultimately charges you. It charges you based off of impressions that you're getting, post engagement, link clicks. So even if people aren't necessarily converting or taking that action, they are doing one of these things here. So link clicks, page likes, or if you get 10-second plus video views, this is ultimately how the algorithm works, to say, okay, well, if they got impressions, if they got post engagement, if they got link clicks, page likes, then we are going to charge them based on that expenditure for that time frame. So that's how it determines it. Okay. And that's not, and I've had occasionally, sometimes, I'm not charged at all, or it takes a while. You have to let those ads mature over time to know if you're even doing the right targeting for a second. All right, so guys, I hope this was super helpful for you. In the next video, let's see, I'm going to be actually going through and walking through step-by-step some business manager training. I think we're going to do that in the next video. So guys, stay tuned for that, and we'll see you in the next lesson.